The things that our diversity czar and regulatory czar would like to shut down. Thank you very much. Back in a second.
Thank you.
There's a new czar in town, and he's promoting green jobs. Next.
Hello, America. I believe our Constitution is under attack by people with a very radical agenda and one that you don't see. You have to search for. Barack Obama has said he wants to fundamentally transform this country. Boy, I don't. I'd like to work on some of the things we kind of stink at, but I don't need fundamental transformation. One of his own special advisors stepped down over the weekend. But if you think Van Jones is gone and forgotten, you're wrong. And I've been thinking about it this weekend to try to figure out a way where I could explain this to you, where it would make sense, and bring you here over the 103, as we like to call it, a 103-inch monitor. This is, wow. Could you bring up the iceberg, please? Let's just say this is the USS Constitution. Remember, Patty Ann just said a minute ago that the president is going to make a big speech tomorrow night to talk about health care. Well, I have to tell you, there are billions, if not trillions, of dollars at stake. And the power, we're playing for the power of the world here. There's a lot of money at stake here. They're not going to let it go by easily. Well, I have said to you before, you can't let these people pass anything until we know exactly what we're dealing with. That's why I'm not making accusations. I'm asking for answers, okay? These are all of the czars, and here's what's happened. This is the USS Constitution, if you will. Gee, it looks a little like the Titanic. It's sailing along and it's fine, and it sees an iceberg up here. Well, what's happened? Without asking any questions, without providing any answers, without giving us any new information, they have just taken Van Jones and dropped him. Does he drop? And dropped him underneath the water. Well, if anybody knows anything about icebergs, this is not the dangerous part. This is the dangerous part. There is much more under the surface of the water of an iceberg. That's why I have said, until you get any answers. You know, Barack Obama tomorrow may come up with the best idea for health care. That's fine. But until you get answers, you cannot let that ship, if you were a good captain of this ship, what would you say? Oh, well, the iceberg, it just got a little smaller. Would you say that? Or would you say, full stop? The ship is about to be sunk because we don't see the iceberg underneath. Full stop. Don't let them pass anything. And that's for the Republicans as well, because remember, the Republicans have passed some really bad stuff as well. Michelle Malkin is here. She's a syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. Michelle, I want to talk to you a little bit about, first of all, the new guy that was appointed yesterday. What is his name? He's the new green job czar.
Ron Bloom.
Ron Bloom.
Ron Bloom.
What do you know about this guy?
Well, he is known as a union hatchet man among folks who have been watching big labor for decades. He cut his teeth in labor organizing at the feet of John Sweeney when John Sweeney was the head of the Service Employees International Union. And it was with John Sweeney's blessing that Ron Bloom went on to Harvard Business School. Their intention was that he should insinuate himself in the business world, understand how their antagonists and enemies work, and then go back into the labor union and use what he knew to shake down and to make them bend to their will. And that's what he's done over the last several decades.
You know, I think what President Obama and his team misunderstand is this is not about the Democrats or Obama. This is about the Democrats and the Republicans knowing in their gut that big labor is not the answer. This is actually from a new book comes out in end of this month. That's me as the book czar. Buy the book. He tells you to. He commands you. If you see in here, we made this. Can you pick this up on the shot? We made this book so you can give it to your kids and your grandkids to understand what's going on and make it entertaining. Because quite honestly, I'm riddled with ADD. But here's Barack Obama as Spider-Man. Look at the web. These are all of the big union people around him that are creating policies and exactly what their jobs are. This is, yesterday, Michelle, I don't know if you caught this, during the speech, He said, you know what's happening? We're close to passing health care, and that's why all the special interest groups are saying awful things about it. He said it at a union picnic.
Yeah.
What bigger special interest group could there be?
Well, there's always a policy of self-exemption with Barack Obama. Not only is it the labor special interests that they're serving, but of course many corporate special interests as well, which makes it richly ironic that this White House continues to accuse its own opponents of serving big business and pocketing money when so many of their own people are either corporate shills or labor shills. Another thing that happened over the weekend, Glenn, is that this White House quietly gave a waiver to an AFL-CIO lobbyist who worked at the state organization level, who will now be the Deputy Secretary of Labor. Once again, the rules never apply to the special interests within the Obama administration. And by the way, and one other fun fact about Ron Bloom is, at the same time that he has now been appointed to rescue the manufacturing industry that unions have destroyed, he will keep his job as the car czar, where he had replaced the corruptocrat Steve Ratner. So he's double dipping as a double czar. Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, boy, you ain't kidding. Michelle, I want to come back and I want to talk to you about some of the czars and some of the things that are coming. But I have to ask you, America, Democrats in particular. I want to do a show here in the next few days just for Democrats, because I don't understand you and I want answers. I really do. I want to understand. You know, Michael Moore came out and said that capitalism is evil. Oliver Stone was down with Hugo Chavez doing fist bumps. Is that who you are? Because that's who a lot of the people in Congress, that's who they are. And they continue to lead us down this path. And I mean, has the Democratic Party completely lost its soul? I mean, outside of Washington. Both parties have lost their soul inside. When can we expect the Democrats to stop playing political games? Please, I'm begging of you, our Constitution is at stake. When can you join with independents? When will you join with Republicans demanding to know where the hell their people are? And say, hey, we like capitalism. We're not in with Chavez and Michael Moore thinking that capitalism is evil. When will that happen? More with Michelle Malkin next. Did I just see a commercial that Don Imus is coming to work for the Fox business?
Yes.
You know what? That guy only causes trouble. He's crazy. Obama's green job czar, Van Jones, may have resigned. But like I said, he is the tip of the iceberg. Michelle Malkin is here. She's a syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. Michelle, as I'm looking over the czars, it's not like there was one bad czar there or one person that's advising the president that is like a radical. I mean, I've got pages of them, and I'm trying to figure, you know, because there's this website that's out there, and they actually put they did this schematic of who I'm going to go after next. I haven't really decided. I look at them. For instance, John Holdren, he's a pretty good guy. He believes that we should have planetary control, you know, through the UN. He wants to regulate the number of children. You know, he's been for forced abortions. He also is, why shouldn't we strive for zero economic growth as well as a zero population growth?
Yeah. Well, you know, all of these statements, as Byron York and you were talking about in a previous segment, are all over the Internet. And it is thanks to citizen journalists out there, amateur investigative reporters who have put it all out there, who have Xeroxed hundreds of pages from his own books. I've done work on my own site at michellemalkin.com talking not only about his statements from 20 or 30 years ago, but more recent speeches that he's given where he pays homage to intellectual mentors like Harrison Brown, who is one of the most notorious international eugenicists and who considers the global population, quote, a